Así que, por favor.
Hello, everybody. We are in international venue. I speak in English. First, everything that we should do every day should be here, okay, to think where are we in this moment. And these are the stars in the yellow circle. All the stars that we see in the sky dome are just a part of our Milky Way galaxy, okay? So why I say this? Because we are not perfect. We are here to do something with our life, which is to do our best, I say, to make sense of our life, our work, and to upgrade the world. So we are developing a video game, educational video game. It's not perfect. We are trying to do the best we can with this. And I introduce myself. I started working with computers when I was 10-year-old, so 40 years. And so I have some experience with digital systems. And I work in Video Games Without Borders since 10 years with this project that I'll introduce to you. And I also teach game-based learning in an international educational system in Italy. And then, if anybody interested, I write a newsletter about games and life. Here we are. In 2016, the Norwegian government wanted to do something to help Syrian kids during the war that couldn't go to school, okay? And they say, okay, how can we help them? Their idea was to create a video game that could help them to learn to read Arabics. We, with Colonia Game Lab, with Francesco, and okay, I don't do all the story, we applied to this contest to create a video game for them, because Syrian kids stayed at home, they had mobile phones at home with their parents' phones, and they thought, and we applied, that a video game could be useful to help learning to read their own language. That was Arabic. We didn't know much about Arabics. Me, Francesco, everybody, we were the developers in this project. So we worked with the teachers to know what to put into this game as educational content. And we started developing the video game that we wanted to be a real game, like Ruth just said. We didn't want to do just an educational game. We had some constraints. The game had to be free, open source, small, and independent from the internet, because the game had to be used in refugee camps. So we had some small constraints that helped us to design and develop the game. This is the product, the first one, Antura and the letter. You can play, if you want, in the totems out here. It's available on the stores. You can download and play it. It's a mobile game and a desktop game. I'll show you later all the features. It has many mini games dealing with the literature, how to learn to read. In this case, the first iteration was the Arabic language, using a very gaming style. There are very mini games with real gameplay, and we did put the content as elements of play. Okay. Okay, it was a research project, so we had to validate if it worked. So there was assessment later, the tests we did in the refugee camps and with test groups, and we checked that it worked, improved, okay? Kids wanted to play this game, so, okay, it works a bit, at least. We had, in the first iteration, 300,000 downloads, big success. The first iteration was to learn Arabics, okay? We went to standard Arabics, so dealing with Syrian kids, but since we went with standard Arabics, the game was used by many Arabic-speaking families, also coming from other countries, and started to be used for people coming to Europe, no? Who wanted, for kids who wanted to learn their own language. Then, okay, we won several prizes. Here is Tech Fugees. If you don't know, there is many people dealing with technologies to help refugees and migrants all around Europe and the world. And it was very nice to network with them. And these are some of the prizes we won. Just an anticipation, all the slides that you see here, you can find online on our website later. So all the links, all the content, so everything. Even more. Okay. Then, okay, it was 2018 when we published the game. But we didn't want to stop there, especially. They asked for to use the Antura game to introduce new languages. Why to stop to Arabic? No? Because there are many situations. Let's see, we were dealing with Afghanistan kids, and there were not many games dealing with the Pashto or Farsi or other languages that are not so well used like English or French. And so we expanded the game to deal with more languages. And as we are there, we had the Spanish, French, English, Darija, which is a dialect of Arabics, and even more. And the game, okay, we went in a relationship with many organizations from UNESCO, UNHCR, and others, and they helped us to not only develop the game, also to disseminate the game. We wanted this game to be played all around the world. And so the second iteration was Antura and the letters. With this game, you could learn many languages, also foreigner languages. Then the third iteration, 2 years ago, they applied for an Erasmus Plus project. And the idea was to create a game to empower refugee and migrant children coming to Europe. And, okay, I don't read all the sentence. And we wanted the game to help teachers who are dealing with kids coming to Europe from foreigner countries, especially starting with Romanian, Ukrainian, Syrian, and from there, all Arabic kids. And apart the language, okay, you come here from Ukraine to France, for example, you have to learn French. We want you to learn about the culture of France, the school system, all the history. Okay, there are many things that makes a country, not just the language. And so here we got in the actual moment of Antura development, which is Learn with Antura, V3.0. Antura goes into the classrooms and discover Europe. There are the two taglines that deals with what we are doing. So we are creating a tool for teachers. We want this game to be used by teachers in the classroom to help them to teach kids language and cultural elements of the country they are coming to. The partnership is Colonia Game Lab, as with Video Games Without Borders. We are working with the French teachers, one of the partners, and 2 partners from Poland. So now we are dealing with the French culture and the Polish culture, and from kids coming from Ukrainian, Romanian, and Arabic world. Now I introduce all the features. The game, we wanted to the educational support. We wanted the game to be easily used, adopted by teachers in the classrooms, and also, as we are there, maybe to put the framework for something to grow up, to use the Erasmus Plus funding to create something that can go beyond these 3 years project. So now we are starting with French, with France and Poland, and maybe we'll move over. Before now I go into the game design part. Okay, we are talking about how to design and develop an educational game. This is the topic. First, what are the game design elements in a game? Since we want to create real games, okay. Okay, no, I try to read from here. These are the minimal elements of the game. Every game has to be an objective to achieve. Otherwise, there is not a victory state. We want to win the game. There is some moment you say, okay, I finished the game, I want to do this. There has to be rules and the system. We have to design a complete game. The game is made by its rules. We have to set a setting and a context. And especially if we want the player to be engaged in the game, we need a narrative, a story, and characters. Because players engage and create empathy with the characters. Then in any game has to have puzzles and challenges. Otherwise, it's not a game, it's not fun. But also has to have progressive difficulty. It has to start easy and become difficult, and more difficult as you progress into the game. But the game has to help the player by itself. If you get stuck, the game should give you, okay, do this, no, do that. And especially if you want the game to be educative, we have to put some hints about what we are teaching. And then the fun part. Any good game has a plot twist, Easter eggs, something that engages with some fun things in the game. And last but not least, since we are creating an educational game, the educational content. And we, game designer, can work with all the first elements, but for the educational content, we need the collaboration of, in this case, of the teachers. So how did we design it? Working with the kids and the teachers. We went, and here we are in the first meetings in Angers, in France. We had some pre-testing with the kids to check what kind of game really worked well for them, what kind of gameplay they liked and they played. And then these are real teachers. These are their classrooms. Okay, there are pupils coming from Ukraine. There are very mixed classroom. Okay, and we made a test, no, to check. Okay, the game had to deal with 5 to 8 years old kids. Okay, we say what kind of puzzle can we show them? Do they know geography? How can they deal with numbers? So we wanted to pre-test these things, and we made a paper test and let them play many games. And then we had a big meeting with a dozen teachers that were really teaching the kids, asking them, how do you teach these topics now, and how can we help you with the game? And so they were describing their daily routine with the kids at school, and they came up with the content that they wanted to teach, no, to the kids, and we wanted to put into the game. Here are some of the outcome of the brainstorming, and there are, for example, we hear about the French culture. So we wanted to put into the game historical characters, Jules Verne, Leonardo, Pasteur, and then historical places. The game had to deal with the Tour Eiffel, the Notre Dame de Paris, the Louvre, and all historical places. Then there are food. They wanted the kids to know something about the typical French cuisine, and the natural sites, cultural elements, and especially the school system. There were kids coming to France, in this case, that never went to school before. And maybe they couldn't think to have a woman teaching them, because they are from different cultural places. So we gathered all the content, No, we wanted to put into the game. We had some design constraint. We wanted the game to be gender neutral, religion free. Okay, we're dealing with kids without advertising, free, open source, to secure privacy. There are many elements that anybody developing video games has to know before doing it. And then, oops. And the other, there was the design part. And about the development, we wanted it to be fully open source. And so with the Creative Commons assets, so we wanted that all the work we were doing could be used by others, and maybe others could help this project to develop. And something we wanted it to be modular. Since we started with Arabic, then we added languages. And say, okay, let's make it that we can add more content as we go on. And since the kids can't read, one of the main topics was the spoken voices. We wanted all the sentences in the game to be well spoken in the native language. In the first iteration, we used the real actors, also famous actors, to voice over all the content. Then we see how we solved that. And here we are in the game features of the current game. Okay, I have time. We are in full development. We started this year. And we have now a beta of the game. And we wanted to start the testing next spring. Okay? Okay, it goes, okay. This is a bit a diagram of the flow of how you play the game, but I'll show you with the next slides. So when you start the game, every kid creates his own profile very easily. And we choose, okay, if your gender, but you cannot, if you want, you cannot answer this. And we let them create an avatar and ask their age. There are some minimal avatar profile. Then we added a new things, a teacher panel. We wanted the game to be used in the classroom, and the teacher had to control the game and set up the game to be used in the classroom. And in this panel, the teacher can see all the kids that are registered on the device and check their progression, okay, where they, what level they achieved and how they finished all the levels of the game. Then, when we're done with this, the games ask you, what is your native language? Now we are currently supporting all these 12 languages. So you choose yours, and the game speaks to you natively in these languages. And then you choose what you want to learn. These are our modules, our books we put. They are just free, but you can scroll the game. There are about 10 of these. And there are learn French, learn Polish, learn Arabic, learn languages. And the first one, the new one we are developing now, is a discover country, a way you discover Europe about the culture. Okay, these are the books we have, all the languages. And you see that was learn Arabic, and these are all the other languages. This is a flow of the game. I don't go much inside because you can play it and see. Anyway, there is a map where you say your progression. Then you start your daily session. Randomly, it creates some mini games to be played, dealing with the vocabulary of the day. And so there are about 15 different mini games. Draw the letters, throws balls to letters. These letters are our small character. 5 minutes? Okay, so I go faster. Okay, this is the map where you can choose your level. At the end of a session, there are assessments to check if you learned your language. There is the player profile where you can go and play all the mini games and check everything that you have learned or rehearse all the words and all the sentence in the game. There is the fun part. You gain coins to customize the dog, Antura, which is the main character, and to make photos and save into the library. And then we go to the big part. Okay, these are the educational quests about France. Right now we have a dozen quests. For example, explore Paris, explore Jules Verne, go to the castles of the lawyer. And each of these quests deals with, as an adventure, a 3D. Okay, let me see how it works. A 3D first-person adventure, and dealing with some content that the teachers wanted to be put in the game. It's like a Roblox Zelda-style 3D game where you go around, in this case, Paris, and you meet people. They talk to you, ask you quests to be achieved into the game. And when you do the quest, you are inside the town and you get information about the content to be achieved. There are some physical puzzles to be solved, or there are some mazes. For example, when you go down into the Louvre, there is a maze. You have to find La Gioconda, and when you get there, okay, you finish the level, Mona Lisa level. Or these are some of the assets. We created custom assets for the main monuments. Or, okay, this is the map of Paris. Very, very simple one. And we used, then I show you some open source assets to recreate all the, okay, this is a fake as a test. Okay, sometimes we ask something to the kids. Okay, what is the Notre Dame de Paris? Okay, okay, these are assets we are using to build all the levels. And there are Kenny's assets. This is the part we are developing. It's a framework to create these educational quests. And it's very easy from the Unity. It's a Unity project, okay? Fully open source. You can go on GitHub and download. With the push of a button, we can download the quests that are designed and checked with the teachers on an online platform. It's a kind of someone who is using Twine to create interactive storytelling. Because this is a new platform we are developing with our partners, where we create all the flows of the stories and all the content and all the dialogues that are put into the game. And so this is a platform online. It's a website, so teachers can get here and see all the content that are put into the game and validate the content with us, and also add translations to all the languages. Since we add machine translations, and they validate or add their custom fix to all the texts. They can see all the content of the adventures as a book, and this is one of the biggest missions. Okay, anybody who has design and quests know can be very challenging to create adventures. So this leads to very freedom to create any kind of quest. We call educational quests by designers and by teachers. We had make them, the teachers work. We give them these documents online to be checked. And we had also several game designers, students, to create new quests to be put into the game. This, for example, someone got an idea from a maze to discover Leonardo da Vinci somewhere. And we have an online website, which is generated from the project itself, with all the documentations of the project and how to use this game in the classroom. So we have started to create a full guide for teachers how to learn about the game and how to do educational session in the classroom. For example, I take it for 5 minutes, make them play this game or the other. About the languages, right now we are using artificial intelligence to create, with the push of the button, all thousands of voices, no, in 10 languages. And then when we'll have time, when the game will be finished, we'll voice over them with real actors. We have really thousands of sentences in the game. It will be a production challenge to create them. Last, the project is online. And if you go, we put all this content into our new community website that we are opening today. It's a forum by VGVB. And so you can get inside here. And here I created already a post about this session with all the slides, the documentation of this project and the manual. And we can chat there if you want to know more of the project. I think this is all.
Lo hacéis y me vengo ya contigo. Muchas gracias. Mi compañero de francés te va a amar mucho.
No he capito.
Mi compañero de francés te va a querer mucho.
Okay.
Verás cuando le enseñe el proyecto. ¿Tenéis alguna pregunta? Pues empiezo yo, si me permites. Lo he visto para niños. ¿En algún futuro tenéis pensado para mayores? Estoy pensando en los padres de algunos amigos de mi hija que no hablan ni papa de español, ni nada. Perdón, que me ha salido en plan coloquial, ni papa. Y lo he visto bastante útil para algunos, sobre todo madres que vienen sin hablar, por ejemplo, nada de español. Me refiero con... lo he visto en francés, pero en otros idiomas. En español, hacerlo...
Okay. The games speaks to you in native language, for example, in Spanish, and in the learning language, both. And you can set. And we saw many parents, immigrants parents, using the game to learn something. The game deals with the 250 standard words, the basic, we have a level 3, for example. Many parents are using and playing with the kids also.
Exacto.
Yes.
Me parece muy, muy útil. Estoy pensando en las madres que conozco de varias compañeras, entonces sería muy, muy bueno. Lo voy a pasar.
Yes, try it.
I take the word to add one more thing. Yes, so when the testing with the Syrians, there was a side effect that is also positive, that is not only parents in general, but especially women, the mothers, because depending on the culture, they are not allowed to go out and study or learn and attend school. But with the mobile phone of the family, they have the freedom to be able to learn in their tent house where they are, and it's really helping on that side as well.
Oh, bien. Gracias.
My question was exactly the same, because I have seen a photo with a child and a mother, and she was happy. She was seeing how the child was playing with the game, and I saw in her face the happiness. No?
Yeah, we tell you, when we make the pre-test, we check that all kids, also not literacy Arabic, they all played Roblox. Okay, let's do the Roblox style, gameplay style. We know that they will like it. And since the first part of Antura is the normal 2D mini games, and in this way we are experimenting a 3D adventures going all around. They like it, both. And we are integrating the language part and the culture part with.
And I think it is a good use of the technology, because in the other, I think Luham, she was speaking about it, no? About use the technology, but not for only use it and that's all. No, I think it is fantastic because the game have very little requirements. You only need a internet connection for
downloading,
and that's all. That's fantastic, Stefano. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you to you.
Very good.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question is more about the accessibility of the game. If you have plans, or if you already have, for example, kids that have a blind or some kind of disabilities, maybe all the descriptions, subtitles, things like that.
Yeah, the games takes care that you don't know how to read, so it speaks everything in two languages, your native and the learning languages. And you have subtitles on all the sentences also. The font are quite readable, big, short sentence. So the other part that we are working with the teachers, validating also that maybe we write long text, make shorter, make easier for 6 years Syrian kids that doesn't want to stay into the classroom. And the other part, we are doing the best practice to develop about usability and the easiness of the game. Yes.
Go.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is about how do you actually choose languages? Because because I'm checking the game here and I see that you have Hungarian language as well.
Yeah.
Why Hungarian? Because Hungary is not really known to accept.
I leave the answer to Francesco because he's the main manager.
Francesco, come.
The answer is very, 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 very simple. Money. Depends on where the money comes from and what we found the funding for. O en español, sí, depende realmente de dónde conseguimos financiación para hacer proyectos. Hemos intentado hacer proyectos sin financiación y es muy, muy difícil, solo con voluntarios. Así que realmente el caso de los idiomas ha sido, la evolución histórica ha sido, empezamos por el árabe por la emergencia de refugiados sirios, por el concurso que explicó él. Luego colaboramos con el Ministerio de Educación en Uruguay para enseñar inglés y la primera versión de Aprender idioma extranjero fue eso, se usa en cole primaria en Uruguay, con plan CEIVAL, que es un plan grande que distribuye en tableta y contenidos. Luego colaboramos con una fundación, el árabe de Marruecos, el Darija, lo hicimos con una fundación local, porque teníamos un miembro del equipo que es de Casablanca y tenía un contacto local, consiguió financiación, él dice, ¿están interesados? Y después hicimos francés con el Instituto Francés y luego lo del húngaro ha sido por la emergencia de los ucranianos. Cuando hubo el flujo de familia ucraniana hacia Europa, miramos el número de refugiados que había en cada país. E incluimos los países principales, que al final eran probablemente el destino final, como Francia, Alemania y todos los que están alrededor. Rumanía, Hungría y Polonia. Por eso estaban...
And we added Russian also because we saw that the Ukrainian kids, they also speak Russian. And they say, so we added Russian, it was in the project, no? And they said, okay, let's add Russian language. It's a challenge, Russian. The speech.
And it's a challenge also to work on some languages because there's nobody who knows which is the right way to write or speak that language. Working with Afghanistan, it's a mess. We are still working on the Pashto because it took us more than 2 years to do all the recording. We decided to go with a female voice, and then because it was after the Taliban took back power, and girls are not allowed to go out at school, so we are doing the recording at home and then sending back to the teacher. In fact, is the one who was doing the recording, asking for the change, and it's a never-ending process.
If you have other question, we are here all the day, so let's talk about Magnifico.
Ahora es el descanso. Bueno, una última pregunta, es decir, que si no recuerdo que ahora es el descanso y luego volvemos en 20 minutitos. Más de uno necesitamos café.
Yo tengo una y es si se notaba mucho la brecha digital o si realmente existía una brecha digital entre los refugiados y, por así decirlo, vosotros que venís de otros países con una cultura quizá un poco más avanzada tecnológicamente, si se notaba mucho eso.
Pablo, ¿cómo es lo de la brecha digital? Digital gap? Best digital, the digital gap between the children in Afghanistan or in Syria and in our country that we are more technological.
Okay, about Syrian kids, we checked that they are very middle, over the average technological level, Syrian kids. Also, migrants, they have all mobile phones. Maybe they have one mobile for family, and the kids are playing on the phone of their mother or the parents. And so we made the game session very short. So you can finish each session in 15 minutes. So you can, it's not a long game, and that's how we deal. So we took in mind that the kids are playing on the phones of their parents, and the game is very light, works on very old devices, and we checked that they play games, for example, Roblox. Syrian kids playing Roblox, and that's it. So we didn't find any big technological gap. The only problem is in the first part, in the refugees camp, where they had the problem downloading the game, but it's not more an issue anymore, because, yeah.
Si queréis, podemos seguir mientras hablando en el descansillo, aquí mientras nos tomamos un café o lo que queramos. Muchas gracias por esta primera parte. Un aplauso.